Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome to Wake Up Everybody. I am super excited to be with everyone this morning. Good morning, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Facebook, I'm so excited to be with you. If you want to work with me, please join the Zoom space. We have more time for you to register and join the Zoom space. So this is for the wake up. Good morning, Louise. Good morning. Good morning, Tiffany. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, it's about to get on and popping. How to create and enjoy a self-giving season. That's the topic of today. Good morning, Jacqueline. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Send this link out to people, share it with people, because this is the holiday season, and sometimes this season could be tough for people. So let's start sharing, get those text messages out. Good morning, Teresa. Good morning. Sure. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's get people who haven't been in the space for a while. Let's send the link out to them. Say, wake up, wake up. Miss Meika is on. Let's go. Let's go. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Nefertiti, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I don't know, the song isn't playing. I don't hear it. Good morning. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing. We're dealing. We're growing. Together, releasing, we're teaching, we're moving. Together, we're learning, designing, we're striving. Together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together. Wake up, wake up, wake up, everyone. Good morning, good morning. So today's topic, what are we talking about today? We are talking about the self-giving season. Yes. So, for some of you who don't know me, some new people in the space, I am Miss Meika, the thought healer. And some people may say, like, what is a thought healer? So every human being has thoughts, and we have thoughts that progress us, and then we have thoughts that stop us. So I deal with the thoughts that really get in the way of your progression and your expansion. And that's what I do every day for a living, and I love it. So that's a little bit about me. And I just want to say welcome if you're new to the Wake Up community, and welcome to all of those who woke up to hear this conversation. I love you. So self-giving season, like, a lot of women, a lot of human beings, a lot of empaths, we have this thing about just giving, right? And sometimes we forget about giving to ourselves, and we become exhausted, agitated, we become disappointed, because sometimes we give to people. We give our hearts, we give our listening, we give our action, like we're there for people. And it can be very it could be very heartbreaking when you have an expectation of somebody giving back to you and that doesn't show up, right? And so we have become in society, I guess I know for myself, I can speak for myself. I am somebody who's known to be, oh, Meika's so giving. She's very giving. She's always, giving her time, giving her energy, giving whatever, right? Showing up for people. And I was known for that. It was more so like, I look at it as part of who I am. And for the most part, that seems very, a great thing to be a giver. But I actually was with a healer, and he had me do a silent retreat. And I never did that before, right? And so it was very difficult at first to not respond, right? Like people are texting me, and he said, do not respond, even if it's a client. And listen, I don't like, those are coins. I got to respond to the coins, sir. I don't know what you're talking about. And the first day I didn't listen, right? He gave me the instructions and I did not listen, right? I'm responding away, text messages, and then I'm cheating myself because I'm saying, oh, I'm not picking up the phone. I'm just text messaging people back, right? And so when he knew I was going to fail at that task, right? And still be a responder. And so when he asked me, he said, okay, who called, right? And what did they want? And I went down, he asked for every single person who called me, right? And what did they want? And that was the first time in my entire life that I realized that nobody called me to say hello. Not one person in that entire day called me to say, hi, Meika, how are you? Right? Every single call was a request. Every single one was, what can you do for me? Do you have this? Do you know this? Can you come and this? Can you arrange this? Can you decorate this? Every single call was a request. And I had never noticed that in my entire life. But I built that character as somebody who's very resourceful. If you need something, and I'm not going to let that go a day or two or three, I'm a responder like immediately. But I didn't realize how much energy being that helper was taking from my goals, my dreams, the things that I want, that I desire to do, and just being flat out exhausted. I mean, like, I would come home and feel like, wow, I didn't really do anything today, and come home and smash on the couch. But what was happening to me was that just me responding and being there and finding resources and supporting people, all of that was exhausting my energy. So when it came time for me to write a book, I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this first. I got to do that. So I want to know from the community, because I like to jump in. I don't like to do so much talking. I like the community to support and respond as well. I want to know from the community, who has been a responder, a helper, where you have lost, so this conversation is starting to wake something up in you, where you see how much energy you're exerting. So if you could, anybody just raise your hand in the community so you can share with me. Shawnee, do you see anyone?
Not with a hand raised. Let's try this, Meika, because we know this community, right? We know it well. And there's some other people in the space, and welcome to the space. So let me call on Martine Malivers.
Okay, all right.
PD too is next, if you are willing to share. So Martine, you there? You able to share? Chop it up with us?
I'm here and I'm laughing because I was looking for my hand.
Listen, Shawnee got that intuition. Her intuition is no joke. She saw the hand. That's why she called you. She saw it. That's what happened.
Shawnee knows too that I'm always giving from an empty
Lord,
cup,
Lord.
all of that. Because this is near and dear to my heart, this topic.
So what's opening up for you about being the helper, and how does it exhaust you?
Well, we can talk about that all day long. What's coming up for me, listening to this, are the resources that I'm not using. That's what's intriguing right now. This wonderful community. I did the Be the Tree program, and I have cluster sisters who always love on me. And I don't reach out to them enough because I think even though we can sit and express how depleting it is, it's a habit we've created. So we have to now teach people what we want, but also get into that ourselves. I find that it's kind of difficult for me to receive what I get and I think it's simply because I'm not used to it.
Right. And then that's also an energy that you're putting out, the difficulty to receive, right? When we all, every human being needs support from one place or another, right? And, historically, women, and especially Black women, we've had this conversation called like, I got it. Even when somebody's trying to help you in the kitchen, you're like, no, don't worry, like almost get out the kitchen, girl. I got it, right? Especially during the holidays, people are like, oh, what do you need help with, right? No worries, I got it. And like it's,
I mean,
go ahead.
It's almost awkward even. It's like you want it, you desire it, you complain about it, nobody does this, but then when they offer it to you, you don't even know how to receive it. Right. And then I'll tell you, like, I know for me personally, my mother is the same way. And I recently lost a really close friend, and I was, helping everybody. Everybody's like, you're so strong. And I didn't have my breakdown moment. And I was alone, and I was alone in a separate room from my mom. And I really
you just hit on a note. You just hit on a note.
Go and cry in her lap. And I went to her and I told her, I was like, I'm hurt behind this. And you know what she did? She said, well, everybody has to die. And you know what her struggles were? Like, she rationalized it, right? Which shouldn't be a surprise to me, because maybe I would do the same thing. But in that moment, I couldn't even love myself enough or humble myself enough to say, Mom, that's not what I need. Stop what you're doing. I just want to cry in your lap. I wanted to say it to her, but I couldn't get myself to do it.
Well, one of the things that you touched on is the isolation, the helper, right? And normally feels isolated, right? Like after exhausting all of this energy, after you do that, there's like this experience of yourself with isolation, like you're by yourself, right? And so even though you were physically, factually crying in your mother's lap and she said whatever it was that she said.
No, I didn't cry in her lap. That didn't happen.
Oh, you didn't cry on her lap.
That's
you just wanted to cry.
I wanted to. She wasn't giving me what she needed, but I also could have asked her for it. I couldn't get myself to do it. So I just went back in my room, back in isolation.
Right.
And what you're describing.
So, I want to thank you for sharing vulnerably. I want to thank you for sharing vulnerably, like what that feels like, right? That we don't ask for what we want, right? But people can clearly ask for what they need, because we built up and we have to be responsible for the character that we created, being this helper. And it starts from being a kid, right? Like, be the good helper. Help your friend, help your blah, 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 help. Now, there's a difference between being the helper, which I call the hamburger helper. Y'all remember the hamburger helper hand? right? It's like a little character. There's a difference from being the hamburger helper and being a conscious contribution. Consciousness, that means you know what you're doing and there is something in it for you. Now, sometimes people will get masked and say, oh, well, helping makes me feel so good. Even that, we gotta make sure that it's not, you're not helping for validation, right? And I'm not speaking about you personally. What I'm saying is that there are layers underneath this thing called being the helper, right? Versus being a conscious contribution, right? And to be a conscious contribution, one would need some filters to see what they're doing. Sometimes we don't ask ourselves the question, what's in it for me? Sometimes we just jump because we have this habit of being a helper. And so we don't know how to begin the practice of self-giving, right? And asking for what we need. It almost feels uncomfortable, embarrassing, right? So we go and we retreat back into our isolation of our feelings and our emotions or expectations and disappointments. So with your mom, there was a disappointment that had you retreat back. There was an expectation that led to a disappointment that had you retreat into isolation back in your room.
Absolutely.
Right? And so just stay online with us and you'll begin to hear like different ways that you can start to self-give, speak up, and be a request for support. Right? Be a conscious contribution to yourself. Even speaking up is a contribution to yourself, asking for what you need. And even if you receive a no, it doesn't mean that that's a no for them. Keep moving. Sometimes we get a no and that breaks us down and that's it. Right? Sometimes I'm in a breakdown, I'm down. And I'll hit one of my sisters up and I'm like, hey, I'm in a breakdown. I really need your support. And they're like, hey, I'm at work. Now I can choose to go in isolation or I can choose to go, got it. And I'll call another sister. And I will call 10 sisters because I've made it a habit to not hold the weight of what I'm dealing with alone. Because I was taught through generations to hold the weight alone, because that's going to demonstrate I'm Black woman strong, right? But it was causing war within my heart and war within my body, right? Violence that I wasn't, my feelings that I wasn't expressing or how I was feeling was causing violence within my own body. So just stick with us. Thank you for sharing with the community, because I know what you shared is speaking to so many other people in this conversation. So thank you.
So Meika, Nefertiti is willing to share, and then there are some shares in the chat. So you want to go straight to Nefertiti?
Let's, yeah, I'm going to go to Nefertiti, but I would like to hear some of the share before we go. Some of the shares in the chat.
Not a problem. All righty. So we have Jax and Purple. You all both identify that that's me, or I do this too. So please verify or clarify what that is so that we can actually share it with Meika and she knows what you're identifying with. Nefertiti shared that she's willing to be a person that you coach. From Facebook, Niamo said, I am a responder. So just thinking about what you shared earlier about needing to respond, even in a silent retreat. Kinyofu said, wow, we can easily ask for what we need, but not for what we want. And then Cheryl Glenn says, teacher's helper. We've been taught since we were young. I was just saying that the other day that, I teach about white supremacy, racism, and I said, we start learning pre-verbal and in
Absolutely.
how to go along to get along in this crazy system.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Jacqueline, I'm actually avoiding making commitments because of responder burnout. Good, Jackie. Cheryl said to be a conscious contribution, one needs filters, and that's just a repeat of what you shared. And I'll say a couple of more and then you can work with Nefertiti. So Teresa
Sure.
said, at one time, I was consumed with others' issues so that I didn't see me. That caused a lot of dis-ease, stress, anger, control issues, and regret. And we have Jacqueline again. Yes, to Kinyofu, I am learning to ask for what I want. I had to have a sort of breakdown with my family in order to ask for what I needed. I felt like I had to fall apart before they would give me support. So yeah, so those are some of the shares. Let me share one more from Facebook because we don't want to leave them out. So Rukaya from Facebook said, I started feeling resentment from giving because I thought I had to or I was needed. I started giving prayer instead of things and giving from a place of wanting to. So I had no connection to outcome, therefore no resentment. Well, there you go. Boom.
Right there. Boom.
So Nefertiti, you ready,
Oh.
Nefertiti?
Yes. Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning, beautiful. Good morning.
Good morning, beautiful. So, yes, I love the term conscious contribution. I just wanted to say that. And I definitely have experienced feeling overwhelmed because of saying yes too many times. And I just think for me, what has really helped is boundaries and pausing. And just because I know what helps doesn't mean I do it all the time. But yeah, definitely, I think it's very, like you said, it's really easy for us as women and especially Black women. I just think we've been socialized to carry the burden. And so I have definitely struggled with um, ending up feeling overwhelmed because I'm saying yes to too many projects that people are asking me to do. And it's just really helped for me to pause and say, okay, no, I'm going to wait and listen to spirit before I even say yes. So that's what has helped.
So an awesome filter, right? And this is something that I didn't have for myself, right? Is what's in it for me. And so a lot of people have a difficulty with that filter because it sounds selfish, right? And there's been times where what's in it for me has been selfish. So it's like we want to avoid that, but we don't ask ourselves that question. It's really about the character of who you are and the character, the context that you have what's in it for me in. So, a good friend of mine's who avid runner, avid, health guru, he big resource for, health, like herbs, all of that. He got a blood clot and he passed away, right? And that was very difficult for my community because he was such a huge contribution to the community. Now, it was interesting because I went to say goodbye to him in the hospital, right? I went to 2 wakes in one day, and I supported his girlfriend up to the days of the funeral. The day of the funeral, I had a huge furniture delivery and I wasn't feeling so well. And I was leaving the next morning to get on a flight. And I remembered this filter, what's in it for me? Now there's an expectation for me to show up at the funeral, right? Like, of course, he's a good friend of mine. I'm supposed to do that, right? And I just said to myself, what's in it for me to go to this funeral, right? I did the wake, I said goodbye to him. What's in it for me? And I said, I'm complete with the life that is no longer, right? And I said, I'm not going. What's in it for me is to actually organize my home and to actually leave to Atlanta in peace, right? So that my house isn't chaotic. And his girlfriend, right, called me from the funeral and said, "Are you coming?" And I said, "No." That was the first time that I chose me in a conscious contribution to my life. That filter changed the dynamic of what I do for myself, the self-giving, right? And I eat, all the emotions that came up for that, guilt immediately. How looking good, second emotion. How am I gonna look? That I am not at the funeral, right? And I had to deal with all of those egoic states that has me and motivates me to give in a very low vibrational way. I had to face the mirror of how I give, right? And how I give to myself. Just me sitting there. I literally, because there was the repast after the funeral, she called me again and asked me to come. And I looked at that Uber price and it was $75 and I was going to pay it just to appease that person's emotions, right? And give up my own. And I felt so guilty and selfish. And I went through all the emotions, right? And then I had to look at myself and say, this is what you've been doing your whole life. You've been giving out of this obligation and guilt. You've been giving to look good for other people. You've been giving in so many other ways that has been so disruptive and dysfunctional for yourself. That took a lot. And people were texting me, "Where are you? I can't believe you're not here." So I was getting it. But I needed to go through all of that and to face the mirror of all of that, to see myself, to see the difference between me being hamburger helper through conscious contribution. Right. And so I said to her in the last message, I said, I am going to be a contribution to your life, and it's not going to look the way you expect. And she texted back, she said, "Okay, no problem. I get it." Right. And so that one filter of what's in it for me changed the whole dynamic of how I give. So, Nefertiti, are you still there?
Sorry, I couldn't unmute. I'm here.
Awesome. So what opens up for you and what I shared?
I think that putting myself first, I think putting ourselves first, we have to clear the noise. That's what comes up for me, that I have to clear the noise to put myself first. And because I think the minute any of us start thinking about the weight of whatever it is we're considering, like even with you with the funeral, when you start thinking about the other, and when you start thinking about that other, the other, if you start there, that's the problem. I think we have to start with ourselves, and then we can choose ourselves first.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like, for me,
you're gonna go through, and it's a great thing to go through it, like to go through all the emotions so you can even see them. Most of the time we don't allow ourselves to go through those heavy emotions, like the guilt, because it's like, oh no, guilt is like a hot, remember the old-fashioned hot radiators, right? It's like guilt is like touching that hot radiator. It's like, I ain't got time for that, so let me go sacrifice myself because I ain't gonna, that's too hot, right? Guilt is too hot, that's fiery, right? And so instead of going through it to get to the other side, we just go and do the thing that's going to remedy. It feels like it's remedy, it's healing the guilt, but it isn't, because you didn't deal with it, you didn't face it. So it's so important that we start to use filters. And I love what you said, Nefertiti, about the noise, right? Like the noise, sometimes you got to deal with the noise so that you can see what the heck you're doing and how you're doing it, right? And so that chaos that you're avoiding, so you don't feel guilty, so you don't look bad, that chaos that you're avoiding, that ends up right here in your heart and in your body. And so we've sacrificed ourselves so many times for so many situations. And then when we are like, we have this expectation that people are going to sacrifice themselves the same way. And when they don't, what are we left with? Holding this bag like, I did, blah, 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 blah. And we immediately go into disappointment and then a complaint and a heaviness in our heart, right? Of the isolation that I'm not enough, people don't love me, people don't see me, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you, Nefertiti. Thank you for that contribution.
Thank you.
Of the noise.
Yes. So I want to add something to the conversation. However, before I do that, do you want to, after I make the statement, go into the chat again, or do you want to hear from someone else? Because this topic is bringing up so much for people, as you knew it would.
Sure. Add your contribution and then you could go to the chat.
So I practice telling on myself, even when it's like, Lord, girl, just let it fly, let it go. So what I am conscious of as far as conscious contribution is when I intentionally do not ask someone to do something for me, or I don't, when they are like, kind of like, I'm not sure if I can do it, I don't push to coach them into doing it, because people are a yes for me. And I have to be accountable, responsible for that. So I'm looking at the name of some folks in here, and I have somebody on my mind right now that is a yes for me. And I'm like, no, I can't ask her for another motherfucking thing because I don't want to put her in a space of stress and strain. And she might know who she is, but I'm just like, I can't do it, even though she's dope. And anytime I ask her to do something, it's going to be phenomenal. I'm just like, don't you dare go there. And so when I'm talking to people on the phone and I'm asking them certain things, and I'm just like, yo, Shani, fall back, because my conscious contribution is to own and be responsible for, yeah, it's Shani, so I must say yes. No, you don't have to say yes, even though I'm like,
for that. Thank you for that honesty, Shawnee, because this, you see this card right here? I don't know if y'all can read it, but what it says, girl, is the hustle of giving, right? It's a hustle on both ends. The helper, right? And the helpee, right? The person receive it. Sometimes people, and my aunt has always said this to me as a little girl, and I didn't understand it as a girl. I understand it a little bit more as an adult, right? Is that she always used to say, beware of the helper, right? I used to be like, no, we want helpers. Like, we want the help. And there's another side to helping, which is manipulation and domination.
Ashe.
Yep. Right. And so sometimes it's called like the helper's bank account, right? You're helping, right? So that you can put more into your checking so you can cash out, right? Or you're helping as a savings account, like, you know, checks and balances, like, remember, keeping score. I helped you. I helped you, right? And I have a family member who's a huge helper, right? Oh, you need $1,000? But I'm telling you, you take that $1,000, you are locked in for some work, right? Because she's helping you in order to receive your work or your efforts or so we have to be conscious about that in ourselves, right? Being a manipulative helper, right? Being a dominating helper. And we also have to be conscious of knowing when we are asking of something, because we know they will say yes because of who they are. So thank you for that vulnerability and that honesty, because people do not want to talk about that. People do not want to know. And I've, dating men, they would, oh, big time, in trouble, let me go buy something real nice, right? So we could forget about that and not discuss that, right? And then it becomes this dynamic, this dance, right? Of, oh, I helped you. Oh, I got you. Oh, I did this for you, right? And you got to look at that for yourself. Like I can hear myself keeping score of when I've done stuff for people. Then that means I wasn't a conscious contribution.
Ashe.
If I'm keeping score in my head, like I remember I done went and blah, 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 I done spent blah, 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 I done did blah, 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 then that means that I wasn't being a conscious contribution. I was doing that for another result.
Ashe.
Or I did that to put that in my savings account or my checking account, my helper's checking account or my helper's saving account. So thank you, Shawnee, for even blowing yourself up in that aspect, because we don't reflect like that. And that's how we go. That self-reflection is so important. So like what you can give to yourself in that self-reflection is just openness. So now you know what you're doing.
Right.
There's a freedom there because now you know what you're doing. That's also part of the self-giving season. Like, I know that person's going to say yes, right? And I know there have been times that I asked for something because I knew they were going to say yes. And I avoided asking the person that probably I really needed to ask, but that was an easy ask. Right. Asking the other person is an easy ask instead of putting myself at risk and asking someone else, right? So thank you.
Yeah, we'll move in the direction you want to go. I just want to share two things. That last year, the Woo session that I led, I think was like 8 different things, like why we give. So this is in my realm all day and talking about this and outing myself. And then the other piece you just described is transactional relationships. It's like, we can't have a relationship unless we move in money, move in time, moving resources, tapping into networks and giving you access. This shit is crazy. But once again, it's the system that we've been indoctrinated to be in. It's like, I scratch your back if you scratch mine. Like, that's an old adage. So thank you for that, Coach Meika. So where do you want to go in reference
to? Let's go to the chat and see what people are saying. And then we'll go into somebody who can share about what's coming up for them.
All right. And I want to be preemptive in that sense. I want to hear from someone who's in the space that's maybe part of your network. I don't want to make assumptions, but there's a Zakia Allen and Thais F, what's her last name? Fullerton. Would love to hear from one of you. So just hold one sec. We're going to read the chat and then we'll see where we land in reference to your shares and your voices. So, oh my goodness, how far are we going back? Jackie talked about this question of what's in it for me. I need to ask the question because there's a payoff, whether it's adding to my badge of honor, of integrity that I wear, which is nonsense. It's my martyr victim complex. I'm learning to say no and to take care of me. Beautiful. Kinyofu talked about Martine. We may have to circle back because Martine got cut off. She's en route in her car and that the reception got cut off. From Facebook, Kaisha, she said, there is a fear of losing friends or family connections once you choose. And I would imagine you're saying once I choose myself. And I lost a friendship once because I chose myself. Kaya said, thank you for sharing this, Meika. You are always so dope. So Rukai, what'd you get out of it? We know she dope. That's why she keep coming back here. So what did you get out of her dopeness? Kiyofu from Facebook said, Rukai, once again, breakdown to breakthrough is what we're talking about. Let me see some other voices. Jackie was talking about how she just checks on people, to be checking on them to see how they're doing, not to ask for anything. Or to ask for support. Teresa says it's important in reference to what Kaisha shared to love ourselves more than others. I lost a good friend during Woo, but I got all of y'all got all the beautiful Woo Nation. Ashe, ashe. Maybe invite that friend to come into the Woo Nation. Y'all can transform that. Let's see. Not sure what that is. I'll do a couple more and then we can rock with whomever's going to speak to you next. So Kia said, yes, there's control and helping as well. And then Adam said, giving out of boosting one's ego. Let's see if we can hear from anybody else as we scroll down. Different voices. Catherine, this conversation reminds me of the airline requirement of putting your mask on first before helping anyone else. Yes, 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 Catherine. And just for the record, outing myself once again, Coach Catherine is the person that I talk about. She is amazing and also very super busy and a giver to the bone. And I'm like, I can't ask her for another thing. So I just wanted to make sure I said the name out loud. All right. So we ready to rock with someone else? Catherine, you know.
Yes.
Catherine said, I know. I know you talk about me. Yeah. So
who raised their hand? Who wants to jump in this conversation? Was opening up to you?
So wait a minute. One of the things, Thais, and then we'll go to Jasmine Stewart. But Thais, can you show yourself? Is it possible you can have your bonnet on? You can be looking crazy. All right, there you go, boo. There you go.
Hi, I'm getting my little one ready for school, so that's why I had it on, because I'm running around. But thank you for calling on me. And I just have to say, it's funny because sister is the one who kind of sent me the link for this morning. She's like my personal, I guess you can say,
guru
guide, because every time she sends me a link, it's like, girl, you got to get on now. It is right on point. So I just want to thank you, sister. I love you. And as for me, it's like I said, this is right on point. I'm actually learning a very hard lesson this year about giving. I'm a giver. I'm a server to the bone. Somebody asked me for something, I'm going 1000%. We gonna do this, and I got you. And I'm always that person for everyone. I'm like you said, and I'm not gonna claim victimism or martyrism because that's everybody else. I never do it. I don't complain, but I do overextend continually. And when it comes to me, there's a lack of the same support. So this has really enlightened me.
And has that disappointed you? The lack of that same support,
yes.
Right?
It's been hurtful. Even when I don't show it and I try not to take it personal. I was taught a long time ago, when you're gonna lend somebody something or give somebody something, you should never expect it back. If you can't afford to not get it back, don't give it. And that for me includes my time. So I give.
So I want to ask you a question, right? So where do you feel guilty by not giving, by saying no? Do you feel guilty by not giving?
I do. I do feel guilty. And it's funny because I'm trying to pinpoint why I feel so guilty. But I think it's just the servant in me. It's like if I know somebody's in need, I'm ready and I want to jump in.
Let's pause for a second, right? And stay with the guilt. See, guilt is an emotion, as actually scientifically, guilt is an emotion that the brain has a difficult time processing, right? So it's working very hard. It's almost in a matter of seconds that the brain doesn't want to deal with the guilt. So that's why you will immediately go do something, right, to remedy the guilt. Immediate, right? And it's almost like it's like you have to satisfy something else in your life, avoid the guilt. So helping is a good feeling, like I did something good. I'm a good person, right? Because I ain't got no time for no guilt, right? So guilt is just one of those things. That's why I had to sit with the guilt of not going to the funeral. See, it's easy. And I look, if the Uber was 150, normally I would have spent that just to avoid feeling the guilt, right? Not even thinking about being a martyr or anything like that, right? Just thinking about just knowing I don't want to deal with that guilt. And also what also drives this helper thing where we're not bringing self-giving to ourselves, what also drives that is we don't want to look horrible in anybody else's eyes.
Yes.
Right.
I experienced that. Yes.
Right.
That's also
so those two things, guilt and not looking bad, will drive you to go be the hamburger helper in people's lives, because you're not facing the mirror of dealing with the guilt, right? There has been times that I know you had something going on that was important to you, or what you had going on, very important, that you sacrificed to go be a helper, to go be the hamburger helper.
Yes.
Right. And so we want to start to slow down. Nefertiti mentioned it. She touched on it, right? By pausing. And if you slow down with asking yourself a question, what's in it for me? Now, for the helper, they might say, oh, what's in it for me is I get to feel good. I get to be the helper, right? But really, what's in it for you? So now, what most times we got to ask ourselves, what is being the helper providing? What is being the helper really providing? And a lot of times, being the helper is really providing validation that we're good people. Because there's this other conversation in the background saying that we're not enough, we're not good enough, we're bad people, we're not great, we're not successful. So sometimes if you have this I'm not successful conversation going on in your head, helping somebody, immediate success.
Yeah. That's
right.
True.
You might not have financial success, but I'm a successful helper.
So true. Oh yeah. Oh right? Yeah. You're hitting all of the bells. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
So to slow down, ask yourself, what's in it for me? If you can't honestly answer that question, you need to hold on. I get that you need this, but I just need a minute, because you need time to actually answer the question, not just ask the question, answer the question, right? And then make a choice from there.
Okay.
Yeah. Because now you're conscious about what you're doing. You're not just responding from avoiding guilt or responding because that's not conscious. There's something subconscious in the background that's driving you to do it. But when you're conscious and you're a conscious contribution, that's a whole different world, a whole different game.
So can I ask you a follow-up question to what you just said? Because when you said, okay, what's in it for me? All kinds of triggers went off in my head. I'm like, no. It's like, I feel selfish. It's like, oh my gosh, why am I thinking about what's in it for me? I mean, right. I'm just helping. So what do you do with that?
You got to give up selfish. See, that's the whole thing. You don't want to appear selfish. So that's another trigger driving you to be the successful helper.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you let go that you're selfish and be selfish?
I can try.
Trying is not doing.
I can definitely
say I'm selfish. Say I'm selfish.
I am selfish. I am selfish.
Say it again. I am selfish. I am proud to be selfish.
I am selfish and proud of it. I am selfish. Thank you. I will definitely be using that throughout this year, because the helper in me, I got so many hats this year. PTA president, CEC member, President's Council secretary, vice president of, and
you're successful. Yeah. You're a successful helper.
But I got to get a little more selfish. I do need to be a little more selfish. So I am selfish.
So to practice selfish, right, is to practice 30 days of self-giving. You see how we have Thanksgiving? This topic today is about being a self-giver, self-giving. And you want to start to look at how can you every single day for 30 days, right? Practice self-giving. I want you to get your calendar out and take each day from today, right? 30 days from today, and write out each day how you're going to practice self-giving.
Okay. I like that. That's good. I'm good with homework. I'm on it. I'm on it. Thank you so much. You are truly a blessing. And thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Shawnee?
Yeah, girl. Thais is still there, I know, but she opened up by saying, I'm getting my little one together. And what I put in the chat, but I want to make sure I say it out loud, is we, Thais, if you keep giving and giving and giving from the hamburger helper caricature and posture, what we create is 2, 3, 4 more generations of hamburger helper givers.
Yes.
And I'm like, that baby she's getting together will be in the PTA, will be the mama trying to do 12 things in a 2-thing slot. Yo, get that together. Like, especially as Black and brown women, we can't keep doing that to our kids. Because, you know, I was doing every freaking thing raising my children. I'm just like, yo, it just doesn't work. It really doesn't. We're perpetuating almost like an enslaved mentality. And you know, our people's history.
And sister just said, I'm holding you accountable to yourself, sis.
Sister got you. I see her. And I know she will. Thank
you. Shawnee, so what we have going on next?
4 minutes till 8, so we can choose. We have hands up. I noticed that Catherine wanted to share first, and then Adam, then Kaisha. So, and also there's a lot of chat shares. So you want to say what we need
I just want to say for the, yes, thank you, Shawnee. So I just want to say for the people who have to go at 8 o'clock, thank you. Come back to the Facebook community, rewatch the show for the rest of the remaining of the show, because there's still more juice. And I just want to say thank you for your listening. For those who have to go at 8 o'clock, we love you. And I am here. I have a new course coming up called The Wounded Opinion. Look on my Facebook page, coming probably tomorrow or the next day. The link will be there. If you have to leave, because we're going to display that later in the show, but if you have to leave, you can go to my Facebook page in the next 2 days to click on the link and register for that. And thank you for your listening, and I love you. So go ahead, Shawnee, who's next?
Before we move, it's called The Wounded
Opinion.
Oh, yes. That's right. We had the slide for that. So let me just type it really quickly.
Sure.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. So I'm like, oh, what do we do next? I'm so excited. All right, so I'm gonna read a few from the chat, and then we're gonna rock out with Catherine next. So people were saying a whole bunch as you were talking to Thais. So from Facebook, okay, I was going to read Stacy's, but once again, I'm not clear about Stacy's share, so I don't want to confuse. So Desiree said, never thought about it like that instant success or succeed, like from the giving. And Jacqueline says she's learning to be more self-aware. And Facebook, Jim said, at this stage in my life, I have learned to be okay with not giving for whatever reason. And I mentioned about the giving and what the impact on generations to come. Chantel said, but people reach out for your help with what's in it for me in mind. It's coming from that place to begin with. So Chantel, I'm curious about that. Say more about that. Kathleen from Facebook said, compassion fatigue comes to mind when I'm giving too much of myself and of my time. Jacqueline said, that's a pattern. My mom taught me to not be selfish. Selfish was a negative. I am selfish now. I say self-full. And then sister said, Yeast, that's a nickname for Thais. You deserve to be selfish. So we're going to move to Catherine. Are you ready, beloved? And please come on camera if you can, because we want to see your beautiful face.
Hi, Catherine. I'm driving. Hey, Meika, how you doing?
Oh, good.
Good morning, family. I'm going to try to start my video. I'm just driving.
Okay.
Careful.
Yes. Yeah, no, I wanted to definitely respond, Coach Shawnee. I knew you were talking about me. Um, but I also wanted to state that it is a function from what Meika, brought up before in regards to giving from, what can I get? Because when I do give in that way with you, Coach, it is, I get so much, and I get so much spiritually. I mean, I've grown, oh my God, tremendously, just being under your mentorship. And so I give as a form of paying it forward, which is another form of giving. It's like, yo, like, damn,
Well,
like,
that's the conscious giver, right?
right,
The conscious contribution. So that's the conscious, that's being clear about what it doesn't rob you. See, being a conscious contribution does not rob you. It's not sacrificial. It actually gives you energy, not from the low vibrational space of, oh, I'm successful because I gave, right? Because that's a gender given. But when you become a conscious contribution, it provides energy, right? That's truly being of service because you're consciously understanding what you're choosing without an agenda, without the disappointment, without the expectation, right? And we always say the bull, like, oh, I give and I don't expect. Lies you tell. Lies you tell, right? And it's like being honest about that, being honest that you actually need things, fronting like you don't need anything and you're good, you're just this sacrificial successful helper, you know what I'm saying, is a lie, and it causes recklessness on your body. Like my grandmother recently had a mild stroke, and so I was helping her in the bed, and she said to me, she said, I'm disappointed because of all the help that I provided. Now she's 85 years old, right? And she had expectations of other people showing up other than me. And the people that she helped, and the disappointment on top of her health. Why would you have to deal with a mild stroke and deal with all of this emotional disappointment because of the expectations that all these other people were supposed to show up? So seeing it at the end and seeing her body so exhausted from what, she's 85. She's probably been helping since she was 5 because she was taught to help and taught to be the helper. Seeing it on the end and seeing the heaviness and the weight and the isolation. So people are like wanting to call her, and she's so disappointed and heartbroken that she's ignoring the call and going into isolation in that state because it's so painful. So there's a difference between being of service of what you're talking about, Catherine, right? But being consciously of service and receiving the resource and the energy from it versus being the person who sacrificed to serve, right? And so it's a powerful dynamic that you're speaking of, because people are always like, oh, I have to be of service. Oh, I'm of service. And I believe that we are born to serve, but not to serve. And there's nothing coming over here for us. Not the sacrificial service that kills us off in the end.
absolutely. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
No, I was gonna say, and I want to make it seem like I had this all together, but I was in that space for such a long time. Running my nonprofit organization. I couldn't sleep most nights, right? And I was doing great, doing good for the community, and just not getting the reciprocal, right? So, and my health was, deteriorated running it, and I just one day was just like, you know what? I'm done. I can still give, but it has to be a mutual exchange here. I can't like deplete myself, totally deplete myself and my family from giving in this way. It has to be something that's really rewarding to me spiritually as well. And I thank you.
The other side of that is that that character of the hamburger helper, what you create is an expectation of others that you stay in that character. How dare you? How dare you need something? It's like being typecast as, you're typecast now as the hamburger helper. So there's an expectation that you're always a yes, or that you're going to sacrifice, or you're going to drop whatever you got going on to go do and be for others, right? And so we have to be responsible for the expectation that we have typecast ourselves in, right? It's like, you know, comedians are funny, and then when they try to go into serious acting, people are like, get back into your lane and be that funny guy, right? How dare you try to be serious, right? Or do something else. And so it's like people don't want to, and what we don't want to deal with is their reaction to the no. So because that feels like, their reaction to the no feels like rejection. So I'm not going to deal with that. I'm just going to go back to helping. So thank you, Catherine, for that share. Shawnee?
Here we go. So Adam has his hand up, and we had Kaisha, but maybe she shifted gears. So Adam, you are next. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, Shawnee. Good morning, Woo Nation. I hope everyone is having a good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to say that I appreciate you touching on this subject of giving, because I believe when you are giving, I believe you got to develop a purpose for why you're giving. So, for instance, I could be the type of giver, whereas if I'm giving this person, let's say I give this person a $1,000 handbag, or if I get this person like a Lamborghini, and I'm giving this person these kind of things because of my own generosity, or if I'm doing it because I'm trying to develop some kind of power over that person.
Yeah.
Whereas if he was to if I was to get into the argument with the person that I gave to, then I could just say, hey, if you did it without me, you wouldn't have this if it weren't for me. So it's like I'm picking on the weak, so to speak. So I try to shy away from being that kind of giver. The kind of giver that I try to be is I try to read somebody's energy, and I also try to study my own energy as well. And I try to put it in places where it will be appreciated versus putting it in places and people where it won't be appreciated. Because
that's the whole thing about the expectation of giving, right? So
exactly.
When you start to give to yourself, you actually start to create a new paradigm, right, of understanding giving. See, most people are only operating from one paradigm, the giving that's going out. So you don't understand the true essence of giving because you do not give to yourself in a conscious way.
Yeah.
Right. And so when you begin to give to yourself in a conscious way, what you create is a whole new paradigm of thinking, and you understand giving in a whole new realm because now you're practicing what it feels like to receive from yourself. If you do not understand what it is to receive for yourself, right, you only understand giving from one lens, not different lenses, because you have not done that for yourself. And so people are only operating from one spectrum of giving, because the self-giving experience is going to open you up to understanding what receiving is like. It will give you the opportunity and freedom to say yay or nay, and not be a reaction to people's reaction. Exactly. That's where we get into the the murky waters. We don't want to be in the pool of rejection, so we'll sacrifice ourselves. But when you start to begin the self-giving to yourself, for yourself, you'll understand how to not sacrifice yourself. But you can't understand how to not sacrifice yourself if you're not practicing that self-giving experience.
Exactly. And it's almost like some people are given out of fear because they're afraid of losing that person, or they're afraid of losing certain things. And for me, I'm not like that, because if I don't have the energy to give to you, then I'm not going to give to you, and I can just move on. Just like
and it's not, Adam, I want you to get, like, it's a lot of people think that, you know, it's a selfish, like this is, because here's the pendulum, right? It's like, you don't want to become you were going from being the giver and sacrificing to I'm not giving nothing, right? It's like it's balance to everything. That's why I call it conscious contribution. That's why I'm saying the balance is actually asking yourself the question and answering it honestly. We want to be here. We don't want to be to the extreme to the left or the extreme to the right, because that's what we seem to do. When we get hurt, we isolate ourselves. I'm done with people. I'm killing them off. I'm shooting everybody down. I ain't helping nobody. And then we become that rigid, isolated person. Toxic. Right. So we want to bring it right here to the middle and be balanced and conscious about what we're doing. Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome, Meika.
Shawnee, where are we?
Yes, we're in a great space. So Kaisha, then we have Sister, and we have Desiree, and we also have some juiciness in the chat. So let's go with Kaisha, because I know she shared earlier and probably wants to elaborate.
Okay.
Good morning. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm at work, so this will be quick because for some reason there's things to do at work.
For some reason.
Go ahead, Kaisha.
Okay, here we go. So I shared on Facebook that I lost a friend for choosing myself. And I shared this issue during Xavier Beckwith's session about relationships, losing past relationships. And I didn't elaborate then. So Kenyofu asked me if I felt guilty. And a little bit, I do still feel guilty. Really quickly, the background is it was during the freeze of Texas. And I was just, I was going through that, power outages and cold weather. And I was going through that. And a friend who lived in El Paso, who didn't experience what the rest of Texas was experiencing, she needed me. And she asked me a question in text. She asked me, the question was, are drugs okay? Like, she was being sarcastic, but she was like, are drugs okay? Are okay to do? And I asked her, is that a rhetorical question? Because she's 35 years old, and I felt like, you know the answer to that. I was exhausted. I was laying on the couch. My power just came on, so because I was trying to warm up and everything. And I just didn't have the patience to deal with a question like that. So she got offended. And she felt, I don't know how she felt, because when I tried to call her, she declined my call because she went on a tangent. She was like, oh, never mind, you don't have to answer it. And I was like, where's this coming from? Don't worry.
So I'm going to pause
it.
you, Kaisha, right? And because we're getting into the world of the story of it. And this is really about, okay, you lost your friend. Life moves on, right? And it's really not a loss, right? Because there was a breakdown in understanding with your friend, or your friend had an expectation of you, right? And so all there is, and you can see for yourself and give to yourself, like, what happened? Okay, I just needed space, right? And but you could share that with that person. That person can understand or not understand. But you're giving by even, you're giving that so much energy versus giving yourself the freedom to see, like, okay, the space that we're in is not understanding. She doesn't understand my plight or what I was dealing with. Or maybe I didn't give right? Exactly what I was dealing with. Because sometimes that's what we do. When we're exhausted, we don't give people what's really going on with us or the state that we're in. So when I'm exhausted, I'm having a Friendsgiving, right? And because I just came back from traveling, and I know that when I entertain people, I entertain them at a certain standard. And I had to let everybody know that standard won't be here on the Friendsgiving, right? And so I'm not about the giving. And I said that in the communication. I am not about the giving at this juncture, but I am about the friends. So if you want to come and be friends and celebrate with each other to just kick it, that's cool. So you see, I'm communicating where I'm at, my state. So if you come here and the only thing here that's on this table is pretzels, then that's what's popping this Friendsgiving, because I don't have the space or the energy to give at the standard that I normally give, because I have to be responsible to know that I set people up for certain expectations. I did that. So that when they come and there's only pretzels on the table, right? There's no disappointment because I let you know where I'm at. You get the difference?
Yes, yes, and I think that's where I've developed from this incident, just like you said, letting people know where I'm at, or not being rude and not answering, but just saying, "Hey, now is not a good time," or, yes. So yes, I do understand that part.
And so I'm giving myself the space to be myself. And so that's part of the self-giving experience, right? We look at Thanksgiving, but really what it really is self-giving, right? I got to give myself the space to be authentic to myself, to be authentic to who I am and what I'm dealing with right now. And that is self-giving, when you can be authentic in your answers. You could be authentic in what you're doing. You could be authentic in the yes or the no. That's true self-giving. That authenticity provides your freedom. Yes. But being responsible for the hamburger helper that you created, you still got to be responsible for the hamburger helper, that character that you created, that people are living in that expectation of. I did that. You got that?
Yeah, yes, that the word that popped out for me was authenticity. It's just being, and I guess we just get to a level in our lives to where that's what it is. We have to be authentic, honest, and a lot of people, they ask for honesty, but they're not ready to receive it. So
we're not even on that topic. That's their business.
Right.
Whether they receive it or not is not my business to cushion the pillow for you to receive my communication. Right. And that's one of the things that's one of the traps of being the helper versus the conscious contribution. Is we're always trying to cushion because we're out to avoid guilt. Remember, the traits of the helper is we're out to avoid guilt. We're out to avoid rejection. We're out to avoid looking bad. Those are the traits of the low vibrational helper. Okay. Thank you, Kaisha.
Thank you.
All right.
Shawnee, I see we got 15 minutes?
We have 12
minutes.
You know, we're going to make it do what it does. So we're going to hear a few shares from the chat and then go to Sister. And sure. Desiree, I know your hand was up and you took it down. So if we have time, we'll hear from you too. So sure. Coach Cheryl, letting, our other team members do some work to support this process. So Cheryl, you ready?
Yes, I am. So what we have here is from Niamo in Facebook. She says, I said no last night in a meeting and someone else had to support my no because folks were shocked. And Jacqueline Davis says, walking around with disappointment is a silent killer. The weight, heartbroken. And that Martine touched on that earlier. And then she also mentioned making assumptions about why people do or do not do things is also a rabbit hole. Grace and gratitude are antidotes for disappointment. Yeah. And Teresa said, where is it? Teresa said, I said no to someone recently, and they're still reminding me of my no. I feel what they say, but I'm glad I said no. Still, no matter what their feelings are, I'm having, and this is deep for me. Still, it's very effective because of me being a giver all the time.
Yeah, they're gonna remind you of that no. Remember that time you said no?
Yo,
I'm still
people are
affected by
crazy.
that no. My heart is broken because you said no. I'm in pieces. That no cracked me up. Mhm.
And Z said, the concept about being afraid of losing someone is kind of puzzling to me. When I ask, I will be disappointed if the answer is no. It will never affect my love. If my no affects the love of another, I have to wonder how real the love was in the first place. And I'm better off without that energy in my space. Ashe, Z. And lastly, Louise says, this session is so validating for me. My family is having difficulty adjusting to me not being the hamburger helper. LOL. I have gotten a lot of pushback, but I continue to self-care and put me first instead of my people pleasing.
Awesome. Awesome.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yes. So, sister, you ready? And also, we want to see your beautiful face if possible. So come on through. There you go. Look at that.
You're on mute.
All right, good morning. Blessings.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you, everyone. So yesterday, I've been working with an elder in my community that I really love and respect. And she's working on a project, and I've been doing my best to try to get in where I can to give a helping hand here and there. And yesterday, and it's so far nothing she's asked me to do, I've said no. But yesterday, she asked me if I could drive her to Staten Island so she could, she lives in Jersey, I live in Brooklyn. So she wanted me to drive her to Staten Island to help her with the project or something like that. And I came this close to saying yes, even though I knew inside of myself that this was an outrageous thing. Like, I can't do that, And I caught myself, and I was so proud because I think the old me would have just did it and be like, oh, been in the car with my butt cheeks clenched and waiting for her in the car, like, oh my God. The old me would have been doing all of that. But I was like, you know what, Ia, is it possible you can call a accessoride for that? Because I don't think that's not really gonna work for me. And I was so happy that she gracefully understood that with a lot of love. And she was like, okay, I understand that, beloved. And I was like, okay, good. I'm gonna exercise this more. So this conversation is feeding that, and I'm so grateful. So thank you. Just want to share that.
You're welcome. And so you said something, sister, that's really important that I want to share with the community. So everybody always has this conversation called, and I had this conversation myself, and one of my sisters caught it. And, like, this is the new me, right? Mm-hmm. The new me. We always like, I'm doing this, I'm practicing, I'm going to be the tree, or I'm doing clearing the fog because I'm trying to get the new me, right? The new me. And it's more so about, not so much about the new you as much as it is about the real you. Okay. Right? So I want to start to pause that conversation about this new me syndrome versus the real me syndrome, because the real you is the authentic you. Just even saying it, right? Like, the real me said no, because that's the authentic answer. See, when you put the real me in there, right, it speaks to your authenticity. You understand what I'm saying? Because
Yes,
the new me is like, I gotta I got work to do for the new me, right? The real me is already there. The authenticity is already there. The
I feel
real
that.
answer is already there, right?
Mhm.
Whether you
I feel that.
took a class or not, right?
Mhm.
There's an authenticity about each of us. And we can feel the frequency of our authenticity. We can feel when we're not being authentic to ourselves, and we can feel when we are. And when we are being authentic to ourselves, there's this rush of energy, right? And when we're not, there's this work that we have to do, right? To pretend like we're being authentic, right?
Thus the butt clenching, the cheek clenching.
Well, sister says, y'all, if your cheeks are starting to clench, right? Check in with yourself to see if you're being the real you. That's your filter.
Yes, yes.
But she's clenching, right? That's a new filter for us, for the woo community, right? So thank you, sister. Thank you for bringing that to the table, the distinction between the new you and the real you. Thank you. Shawnee?
Yes. So we have 5 minutes left. Well, we'll see where it goes, Meika. You know, we're flexible here. So Desiree, are you still on deck? You still in the house, Desiree? No, she left. She's not here. I just checked the chat. All right. So, maybe she'll say it on the thread or pop back in or come to your session that you're going to lead so that she can get more juice from this experience. It has been great. So let's see, Coach Cheryl, anything in the chat that we need to just put in the airspace? And maybe there's we can have a quickie.
Yes.
A quickie with somebody sharing. So let me see who's up in here. Go ahead, Coach Cheryl.
Terry shared that, yes, the real me is the voice trying to get out. When we silence, it is because of fear.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a good confirmation. But everything else is everyone laughing and just confirming.
Yes, yes. So I'm looking at the chat. I'm like, who can we hear from for final words? Oh, I have a hand. Let's see. Thais, you back? You back, Thais? All right, getting your life over there. Go ahead, Thais.
I just wanted to make one comment as Sister was talking and as you guys are talking. One thing that keeps coming up for me as a theme is when we don't say no and put ourselves first, or we react the way we think others, like we're worried about what others think, we're not really giving them the opportunity to prove themselves or give up themselves or show us that they aren't actually going to reject us or leave our lives and things. So that was just something that was coming up for me as everybody was speaking. I was like, wait a minute, I'm here doing everything, expecting everybody not to like me or me to look bad because I'm not doing it. But in doing that, I'm not giving others the opportunity, one, to maybe serve, and two, to show me and prove to me that they too have that capacity to give or to accept a no or whatever it is. So I just wanted to put that out there now.
That's great that you brought that up, because one of the traits about the hamburger helper is that you begin to rob the other people of being a service or stepping up, or it's an enabling, right? And so I know a lot of moms in here in this conversation today we've enabled our children, especially with children, being the hamburger helper, trying to be all things so we can appear to be these perfect moms, right? And we don't want to deal with their upsets or for them stepping up or learning how to step up, right, for themselves. So if you're taking care of everything and you're blocking every fall and you're helping them at every turn, they for themselves they become enabled to do that for themselves. You rob them of that experience, right? Being the hamburger helper. And all that does is it's just self-satisfying for you. It's not really a contribution at all. It's not of service. You are a thief. You are robbing them of that opportunity to serve themselves. So thank you for bringing that up.
So we have Mama Amal's hand up, and
you gotta let Mama Amal.
Oh, definitely, no doubt. I want to be able to sleep peacefully. So wait a minute now.
You do
not disappoint, girl. Every time you come out with something, you are so complete and thorough with everything. One question though.
Sure.
I'm hearing someone say, well, Amal, can you do so-and-so? Well, no, I can't. But, and then you offer an alternative. Is that still enabling? Is that still hamburger helper?
No. It's so funny because I had a client and well, I had a referral, right? Somebody referred somebody to me. And maybe like 2 or 3 conversations, I can hear that they were not up to speed to take my level of coaching, right? And that it was going to be a disservice. As much as they were like, no, I want it. I knew that it would be more chaos for them, not me, right? If I took them on as a client. And so I said, I think that there is another opportunity for you to heal in this other way, right? And build up some muscles before you have coaching with me. And now for me, that was like, I'm turning down money, right? But no, that's one context to have it in. But the other was like true service is like, no. And then here's another opportunity. I sent them to another facilitator. If that works, great. If it doesn't, great. But for themselves, if that other facilitator didn't work, it's their responsibility to keep finding resources that's going to align for them. That's not my responsibility. Now I can give another resource, but I'm not obligated to fix it. It's your life. And we all have something magical called choice.
Sure. Yeah. Meika, with regard to that, I'm going to take this in for myself because I will get caught up in hamburger helper to find them another resource. So this shit is so nuanced. I'm such a crazy, multifaceted Looney Tunes hamburger helper sometimes that I'll get wrapped up in the referring outside and get lost in that and be like, this is exhausting. Like, yo, so I'll like send a group of names. It's like, do your work. Trust that these are vetted people. Do your work instead of me calling them. Do you have a slide? Do you take their insurance? Like, do that work, man. Like,
Right.
But it's on me because I do it, So thank you.
It's okay. I could give you a resource, but and that's of my choosing.
Right.
Because I might not have a resource.
Right.
And so what I saw also in this experiment of slowing down, filtering what's in it for me, what I saw for myself was that there are times where I actually don't know.
Hey,
I don't know.
What?
And then people like, you don't know. Like you don't know. Like, well, you know somebody that might know somebody. Right? And so the reaction to even me not knowing or saying, I don't know, right? Like, I don't know. I'm sorry. And what I found was that, especially in my family dynamic, when I say I don't know, they will ask the same question over and over again, as though my answer is going to be different. If I don't know, I don't know. But what they're really asking is, girl, you better get up and go do that work and know. And then bring that knowing back to me. Because I'm not willing to do that work.
Right.
Right. And so you want to catch, and children do this a lot, right? Like, do you know that they'll keep asking because they're not unwilling to go do that work. And you got to catch yourself when you're like, let me go fix it. I'm not fixing it, but I'm going to find all the resources for you so you can fix it. No, I got I might have one resource for you. Other than that, that's your work. If you choose to sit back and not do that work for yourself, that's your choice. If you choose to go do that work for yourself, awesome. Amen. Ashe. Aho. Wish you the best, but we got to be mindful, and thank you, like Shawnee is calling herself out. We got to be mindful to put that mirror up to see what we're doing, and then begin. I want everybody to do the 30-day self-giving experience. That's every single day. Find a way to give yourself the slowdown, the moment of silence, the filter. What's in it for me? Right? Even yesterday, I was like, oh, I want ice cream. And I was like, oh, like, Meika, you got ice cream in the house, right? And I just said, what's in it for me right in this moment? The moment is the ice cream shop, Carvel is right there. What's in it for me? I could get it right now instead of waiting for later. So I bought myself that little $5 cone and I enjoyed it, right? Every day, find little miracles to self-give to yourself, whether that's time, whether that's a thing, whether that's no. Find and practice it for 30 days. Shawnee, I don't know 30 days from now, but I actually want to come back 30 days from now to see if we have practiced this self-giving experience. And I want to hear from the community, like what's been opening up by you giving to yourself. What new paradigms are you understanding about self-giving, giving to yourself? So that's the journey for all of us. I'm in it, Shawnee's in it, we're all in it. We're not exempt from it because we do this work. We're always growing. There is no mountaintop. We're always growing. We're always expanding. And we are here with you, shoulder to shoulder. And I love you all.
Shay. All right. The beautiful part of giving is that we have been given the benefits of having facilitators for the entire month of December. So you may have to circle back in a different way, but definitely do circle back so you can check on us going on, doing a live on our page or doing whatever will work so that we can check on the progress of this community. So here we are at the tail end of this phenomenal journey of session 460. And it has been quite a beautiful ride. And so let me put up our closing slides, starting with the reminder that Coach Meika is going to be doing a session. Let me make sure that this is fully expanded so you can see everyone. So she's going to be doing the session on December 7th. And please don't miss it. So December 7th. Go ahead. You want to say a little bit about this?
Yeah. So I came into the Wake Up Space probably in last month or the month before, and we discussed the wounded opinions and how the wounded opinions we are living from other people's wounded opinion that they put on us. And then some of the wounded opinions we've also created for ourselves. Sure. Right. And so you don't even realize how you are not wearing red nail polish because somebody's wounded opinion said, don't do it. Or we're not doing certain things because somebody's wounded opinion. We're not traveling because somebody's wounded opinion about traveling to that place said, oh, that's a dangerous place, so you don't go. Right. And there are so many filters blocking us from the expansion in our life just from other people's wounded opinion. So today we talked about the real you. How do we get to the real you is by understanding your childhood wounded opinions that you got from your family dynamic, your teenage wounded opinions that you got from school, your young adult wounded opinions from like 19 to 30. We've gotten a lot of wounded opinions inside of our intimate relationships. So we want to start to look at and understand, take the onion back and go through all the wounded opinions so we can show up as the authentic, real who we are. And so that is December 7th, 6:30 to 9:30. There's going to be a link Shawnee is going to put up. You can pre-register. The full registration will be up in 2 days. And you can register. The course is $25. And let's go. Let's all just jump into this conversation because I'm all about like, let's just get all of this junk, the noise, everything out so the real self can show up, right? So let's get these wounded opinions, understand them, distinguish them, get them out of the way so we could create the facts of who we are, the facts of who we really are. All right. So that's my course, December 7th, 6:30. And here we go. And so for the special offer, I have 2 people winning a free 45-minute session with me. Before I go into that, right? The first 2 people who pre-register for Wounded Opinion is getting it for free. Okay. And so my other special offer is 2 people winning a free 45-minute session right now inside of the Wake Up community.
Mhm.
And so do I want to pick Shawnee 2 numbers?
Yeah, that would be great. And just being conscious of like go in the mid-range of the space.
Sure.
Yeah, really.
So I'm going to do 22.
Okay.
And I am going to do 15.
Thank you. So Coach Cheryl, if you can count that out for us, 22 and 15, and we'll hear later who has won. We're going to move forward. And what a gift that will be. And also remember, go in, register, use the link. It's been dropped in the chat so you can be one of the first 2 to land in the space and get this complimentary, powerful session. All righty. So being in contact, this is also in the chat and also in the Facebook thread. Contact numbers for Meika. You can screenshot this. She's on Facebook as Meika Joseph, Instagram, the Crystal Raven BK, and at Ms. Meika, and email meikaj74@gmail.com. So check it out, be in communication. Don't hesitate to get what you need for your being yourself, the real you experience. So love offerings. So I'm going to share with the community, because we're transparent, is that we're moving into a space where there's like this complacency and comfort around receiving all the time. Today is day 460. We've done 460 sessions in this space. I don't know how many times Meika has been here in the space to lead, or how many times I've adminned, and Kinyofu and Cheryl, John Carl, and others. And what I'm encouraging this community to do is to forego an Uber and give to Wake Up, because your life is unrecognizable. I'm encouraging you to not order from Grubhub, for a few days, and just give to Wake Up. If you've never given to Wake Up before, I'm encouraging you to give to Wake Up. We've been hearing these testimonials. You all have been filling out the form for the anthology survey. What you wrote in the anthology survey response is the catalyst for giving to Wake Up. Give back what you have been so graciously and generously given by the facilitators and the members of this community on a regular basis every day. Life unrecognizable. If you have not given through Cash App, through Zelle in the past, today is the day, as Shanalay says, to pop that cherry, to give $2, $5, $25, $500, whatever you declare, please do share, because it makes a difference for the community. Just like Meika talked about the giving and that reciprocal nature, you will not know fully what it's like to receive from this community if you don't give from our financial resources, our cornucopia of abundance. And perhaps you're worried about your resources and your finances. What I have learned in the past, and Meika, maybe you can say the same, is I've given of my last or from my last, and the blessing that came back, there are no words. So don't make up, I can't give because I don't have it. We're not making up that you have to give a certain amount. We're just asking you give and expect overflow as a result. Because you've already.
Shawnee, I know that in this space, I don't know, I would say, I can't even remember when I started it, but I have always given to this love offering to the admin because of who they are. This does not work without the admin. This does not work without the admin, right? So the facilitators come on and they give you and nourish you, from divine, like this information comes from someplace, right? And then they come here and they give to the community. And so today, I normally give whatever you guys give to me. the love offerings, I give to the admin. Today, I'm going to self-give and allow myself to receive whatever you give.
Beautiful,
right?
beautiful. Yes.
And so it's really about, I'm in it as well. I'm learning as well, right? The giving experience, right? Somebody said, finally. Jacqueline. And so I'm learning as well. And so when you give, you're giving to me as well, right? And I'm here to give to you. It is a collective. You're serving me and I'm serving you. And I'm conscious about it.
Beautiful. Yes.
I'm consciously receiving your gift today.
Ashe. Beautiful. And I want to point out, this is not make wrong. This is just us being transparent in community, that we had a session with Martine and Sanya Zen the other day, and no one gave. And that session was phenomenal. So, and that hasn't happened in a very long time. It has happened, but it hasn't happened in a very long time. So, just offering up an opportunity for us to really get present to the power of giving and the impact on you and on others when you go there. So thank you, Meika, for this powerful lesson and blessing today. So let me move forward, and I want to acknowledge Sherilyn or Mama Mao for giving. I'm going to acknowledge Tanya Samuels for giving, and Mama Niamo Muid for giving. And I'm only looking at Cash App. I haven't looked at Zelle yet. So others may have given in that way. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Meaning this morning, they just gave at 8:43. So join us on Sunday, November 21st for our brother Kamal Patah, his session, Reincorporation and Reentry, the Global Initiation and the Gifts that it birthed. So we keep talking about giving gifts, receiving gifts. So it's just amazing. We're on a roll here. So please do join us, set your alarms, be on the lookout for the announcement for the week, for next week, and who's going to be on deck. Kamal's going to start us off in the week, and then we'll have 4 other facilitators. And the Woo Nation welcomes all new members. Tanya, I don't know if you've been here before, but thank you for being here. Thais for coming through, just other names that are Zakia, another Zakia that came. Like I saw some new names in this space. Thank y'all. Facebook, if there are new people on there, welcome to the tribe. Please do come back. No hit it and quit it. The Woo Nation is always ready to catch and hold and grow with new people, because our community is where we come to learn, elevate, and ascend. So come on back. Mama Mao, thank you for giving again. You on a roll, girl, from the other day. Thank you, Mama. Thank you for giving to Martine and Haru. So the Woo Anthology, y'all, family. There are 30 of us in this space, and only 19 people have filled out the anthology survey thus far. And I'm telling you, don't miss the boat. Don't miss the opportunity. Like Meika, please do fill out the survey, because I know whatever testimony you give is going to be phenomenal and on fire. All of you, if you have not filled out the survey, do it. We drop the hyperlink in there so that you can do it. If you don't have anything going on within the next 30 minutes, click the link, tell your story. Don't play, y'all, because your name will not be in that book. And it's not even about that. It's about giving so that other community members that we haven't even met yet can be blessed. So complete the 10-question survey. It takes time. So carve out 30 minutes to an hour so you can really go deep and share what you want to share. Answer all of the questions. We'll use the questions to synthesize the themes for the set. Thank you, Jacqueline, for giving to Haru and Martine. Love you, love you. Let's keep giving to Mama Meika too. And new set of questions will be finalized and sent out to the community after we synthesize and hone in on the main questions. The story submissions that we receive from you will be edited and placed in a book, and we are going to launch that book March 29th, 2022. We don't know the title, we don't know the cover, but we know we's doing it. We's doing it. So fill out that form, everybody. Tell your story. You deserve to be a co-author in this process. Thank you, Jacqueline, for also giving to Meika. Come through, family. Keep giving, keep giving. So the schedule, Zoom live workshops are done on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. Today is Thursday, right? So this is what we're doing. It's 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. And then on Monday and Wednesday, 7 to 7:30. Please do schedule yourself to be here, and also keep inviting other people so that we can keep growing our community. I looked the other day, we had 17 new members in the Wake Up Everybody community page for Facebook. So let's keep inviting and expanding. So the Woo Swag, thank you for giving Shakia Norris. To MJ, to Meika, thank you for blessing her. Order your Woo Nation swag today. Order it for other people as Christmas gifts. It's time to give. We're also going to add additional swag material or merch. Tiffany's working on that so that we can have additional things like a journal and t-shirts that say Woo Tribe or Woo Nation. So we're on that so you can have that material. Cheryl, thank you for giving to day number 456, I think, which is Martine and Haru. And then just want to thank you, Zakia, thank you for giving to Meika today. Jacqueline, thank you for, you just on a roll. Jacqueline, I love it. Just that giving spirit. So thank you and stay in touch. Thank you, Shakia, for giving to Haru and Martine. Love y'all, love y'all. Let's keep it coming. Let's, keep it bumping in the giving round. Register bit.ly/wake up movement for this next week's sessions. Thank you, Laura Clark, for giving to Meika. Facebook, bit.ly Woo Community, the private page, bit.ly Woo Nation, capitalize the public page, Instagram, Wake Up Everybody Virtual, YouTube, bit.ly/Woo on YouTube, and email us if you have ideas, testimonials, something to share, but make sure you fill out that survey before you send us an email about that. info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. Thank you, Cheryl, for giving to Meika, Mama Niamo. Thank you for giving to Martine and Haru. Y'all are just the MVPs. So if you're interested in joining the Wake Up Everybody volunteer team, or if you've been on the team and you transitioned off and you want to come back on, please come through. We always need more support for admins this morning, for the slides team, for the onboarding team, for the marketing and promotional teams, for the documentation teams. Use your skills. And even if you want to come in for a period of time, because we need volunteers to post on Facebook and to keep what we call our street team energy going in the street of Facebook, please do that and just be in touch with us at info.wakeupseries@gmail. Thank you, Laura Clark, for giving to Martine and Haru. Beautiful, beautiful. So let me take this down so that we can give love to our beautiful sister gal, Meika, because
we give love. The winners, number 15 was Marie Lavelle, and you accept Mama Marie.
All right, let me say something about Mama Marie. Now, I don't know when the last time I heard your voice in this space, but what I will say is that you faithfully come, and I'm asking you to come through for yourself and for the other members of this community. I'm in fact going to look up your number so I can call you. Don't ignore my call, because I'm going to talk to you about what you've been getting out of your participation in this community. And if you're a yes to Meika, that's a yes to yourself and a yes to your family.
So I want to say something that I shared in a debrief with the admin, is that I've been giving away free sessions and people don't actually follow through.
Right.
And get and receive a free 45-minute, it used to be an hour, 45-minute session with me. People will not, they'll say yes in this space and not follow through. So if you're a yes, be a real yes. On topic of this conversation, be a real yes. If you're a no, be a real no. It's okay. No judgment. You know what I'm saying? But be a no so someone else can actually get that contribution.
All righty. So Meika, I'm going to ask if this is cool with you. Just thinking about Thais jumping on, sharing from her heart. If she is open and amenable to it, are you willing to have Thais be the person that gets the complimentary session?
Absolutely.
All right, awesome. And who is the second person? Terry, are you a yes? Or Terry, that's my accountability partner.
You know I'm a yes. I will be in that place.
If you're a yes, then you just email me. My information is there. Email me, contact me, and then we'll set up a schedule for you to receive that winning. And so you have up to, what's today, Thursday, you have up to Sunday to be in communication with me to actually get the session.
Oh, I'm gonna do it right now before I forget.
Okay.
Yeah. Thais left, but sister knows who Thais is and has her contact information, and we can get through to her. So it's cool that she left. I'm just saying, if she's open and amenable, we'll reach out and make sure that she gets it.
Okay.
All right, sister, let us know if you can do that for us, please, mama. You there? Sister. And also, Mama Marie, I'm calling you, so I'm just letting you know. I'm reaching out to you. I'm gonna text you, call you. So let's chop it up because I really want to know what you've been getting because you hold space and you're here. I want to know what you get out of being part of the Wake Up Everybody community. And if you're willing to write a testimonial, not a testimonial, be a part of the anthology, which is to be a co-author in the book. Because I know you've been getting something. Otherwise, why would you be here every other day, joining us each time? So, yeah. And just for the community transparency, Marie said no to the, she told her daughter, and I'm like, which is Kinyofu. And so that's why we said we will offer it to Thais. All right, let's move to celebrate our sister. Is there another voice here? Did I hear something else?
Yeah, that was me. I was she didn't speak to me today, but her pattern is to not receive. And that was what I put that in there to add to this conversation, because this conversation is about giving was receiving for yourself.
Ashe. And you took the leap and was like, she's a no. But it would be good for her to be able to exercise her no for herself. That's given to herself too, like Meika taught us today. All right, so let's move forward. Unmute yourself, family. Cheryl, I see your head moving up. What's up?
He unmuted.
Oh, what? Mama Marie?
Yes. I declined it. Okay. Kinyofu was right.
Got it. Okay. I got it.
You gonna pick up when
anyway.
I call you? Are you gonna pick up when I call you?
Maybe.
All right. I'm texting you. I'm coming for you, Mama Marie.
I'm on
but in a good way.
I'm on my way to the eye doctor.
No. I don't mean today. I mean, I'm gonna reach out and we can set it up, but I'm reaching out. Just want to let you know because I'm like, I want to talk to you. You know, I love you. All right, awesome. I pray that everything goes well with the eye doctor. All right, our sister. Let's give to her like we know how to do. So unmute yourselves, all 26 of you awesome human beings.
Hey, Meika.
Thank you, Meika. Love you.
Meika, thank you.
More hamburger for me.
Much blessings to you.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Love you.
Always
Thank you so much.
Oh, my soul.
Y'all woke me up and made me get out of bed.
Thank you.
You should be. You're in the right
I'm
place.
so glad I got on late. I'm so glad I got on.
Even do this in your bed.
Got back.
Love you all. Love
Thank
you. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Meika. Thank you.
Love you back, Zig. Love you back.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, Madam
Register for the course. Thank you. Jump in. Let's go. Thank me by jumping in.
I'm pre-registered, so I'm there.
I know you are.
I pre-registered too. I'm already there.
Hey.
Thank you so much.